Hey y'all, whether you like it or not, brace yourself. This is gonna blow your mind if you are not already blown away before seeing this. This is another. I'm not truly sure what that guy over there is talking about, but he sure is not being heard. Fancy that. But Florida Orchid House, Olivier, Florida, okay, he does have an advantage there, but it still requires time, patience, a lot of things beyond the weather and whatever else is so good about Florida. Availability, network, but he has dream plants that I probably will never be able to grow, and some that I have managed to successfully bloom over the course of my orchid hobby.
Xylariella tenuifolia Yamada. It's a mouthful. Everybody calls this the coconut orchid. I really want to show you the presentation. I'm very proud of this one. I think it's really special. There you go. So they're usually red. I mean a dark red, burgundy red. This is a yellow variety. That's the Yamada. The fragrance is just amazing. It's better than coconut. It's some paint this, and I'm trying not to treading lightly going in this direction, because every time lately that I've gone down that direction, you know, it starts to twirl, and I'm trying to avoid that. But this is such a fabulous thing, and my last painting that I did of this, my Aerangis cross, it went over so well that I'm thinking about doing this, but in the process of trying coconut, so it's really nice. This is really at the peak. I mean, it started blooming at the bottom, and I started losing those flowers. Now the top is has fresh blooms, but I think that's as much as it's gonna give me this year. So it used to be Maxillaria, it's now Maxillariella. I'm not quite sure why, but that's part of the taxonomic changes that happened in the orchid world. The care for this yellow one, just like the red one, is identical. So it needs highlight. You want to let it dry out between waterings, because if you water it too much, which is what I was doing in the beginning, it's not going to work. And after it stopped blooming, I mean, you see this is a little deflated, so maybe I didn't water enough, but this is fine. These bulbs are deflated. For a few months, it's not going to do much. There's already new growth here coming. But really, these bulbs are going to start developing in October and November. And I mean, this is really fragrant. You can smell it from a distance, and it's such a cutie. Now they can be much bigger than this, but I really love the presentation of this one. So
it's so easy to find an example. He surprisingly has a collection of Tricocentrums that have bloomed in hybrids. Some that I have had, some that I have now, some that I've killed. But to see his expertise and compare it to mine, it's eye-opening, and it's worthy of bow down. It's worthy of close observation. Plus, he always had, not always, I discovered, has an interest in and success with maxillary tenifolia. Also, he has some Aerangis species, in particular he has citrata, which I do not have, which I've killed. He has, I think he might have rhodostictum as well, but that's unique. He has in his collection chocolate drop. Actually, he has both varieties of chocolate drop. Is that enough? I think that's enough. If you don't know him, you better get onto him. I'm really not that long ago stumbled upon his channel. So honestly, just when you think that you have hit a plateau, your bubble gets burst, because there's always bigger, better, easier. Anyway, no offense to me or all of y'all. This is just a show of what I think I want my collection to be and look like. It definitely has all of the plants, or a lot of the plants that I have discovered that I have not even mentioned. Philippinus, Orchid, Atropurpurea, Bracteata. I mean, I'm gonna turn it off and let him talk.
Show you and discuss my Cattleyanthi chocolate drop. So there's two of them. The red variety, which is common, and then the yellow variety, which is a lot less common. Now, the red flowers are fresh. They just opened up. The yellow ones actually on their last leg. They probably have another day or two to go, but these blooms last a while, over a month. So this is a primary hybrid. So definition of primary hybrid is the two parents in the background are species. So plants that live in the wild. And you have Cattleya guttata and Guarianti aurantiaca. Now, chocolate drop is an extremely popular hybrid. You see how glossy, and this is very firm, and so how saturated the colors are. So as well for the red as for the yellow. So this is very beautiful. It's not just popular, and people like to have chocolate drop in their collection, but also in the background of other hybrids down the line. It's also a very popular hybrid because these features carry over to the progeny. So you have a lot of hybrids that have chocolate drop in the background. Now, a little bit about nomenclature and names. So you may have, this is Cattleyanthi, because it's a Cattleya and a Guarianti, but you may have a tag that says Cattleya chocolate drop, and that's because so we've had a lot of renaming going on. That's especially in the 21st century with the advent of DNA testing. In the early days, we've had orchids for 200 years, and basically we classified them based on visual observation. And so, especially the structure of the lip and the flowers, and that's how we determined that certain orchids belong to the same group, and then they were part of a genus. Now, with DNA testing, we've discovered that what the eyes told us is not necessarily true with genetics. And so, if you do not know what a Guarianti is, it's very simple. That's a Mexican Cattleya. So your Cattleyas are typically from Brazil. There are a few that extend outside of Brazil, but it's mostly South America. And then you just have four species that are from Mexico and Central America. But and so those were reclassified as Guarianti. It's a new genus. The problem is that they are extremely popular species that you find in many hybrids. So that had a domino effect on all the names because of that. So again, you may have a Cattleya chocolate drop in your collection, and that's an old tag. The new tag should say Cattleyanthi chocolate drop because it's Cattleya and Guarianti. And like I said, so in many of your hybrids, you probably have a tag that's not correct anymore because there's been a lot of changes in the nomenclature and the names, and this is one of them. And when you have popular species like this one, well, that's you have a really snow effect, a snowball effect. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. If you don't have a chocolate drop, I mean, you should really consider it. Let me see that. Where is the sun now? You want to see that it's glowing in the sun. It's really beautiful. Those are gorgeous hybrids, very popular. So it's Olivier in Fort Lauderdale, and today I wanted to show you the difference between a Tricocentrum ascendens and Tricocentrum sprucei, which are often confused. They can be mislabeled. Mine was mislabeled, and the late Chuck McCartney explained to me why, and so I want to share it with you. First of all, there's also Cebolleta, and it's tough to find, first of all, information about sprucei, period. So, but what I find is that they might be synonymous. So Cebolleta might be the same as sprucei. So if anybody knows anything about the subject, please use the comment section below the video and then explain, and then if you can please give me references that I could go to and read, I would appreciate. Now, this little ascendance here is clearly different from the other two, and the explanation I got from Chuck McCartney, which I also managed to find an explanation about, is that the side lobes here are ascending, they are going straight up, and that's why it's called ascendance. Here at sprucei, as you can tell, the side lobes are flat. So in terms of morphology, that's Orchid House. I'm Olivier in Fort Lauderdale, and this is Aerangis segeri. Now, according to the book from Isabelle Lacroix, and she wrote 2 books about this genus, it's not a very well-known species. It was discovered or described in 1983. And basically found on Ile Sainte-Marie, just on the eastern, it's a tiny island off eastern Madagascar. So it's considered endemic to Madagascar, but it's very possible they also grow on Ile de la Réunion and Mauritius. And Aerangis, basically half the genus grows on the African continent south of the Sahara Desert. The other half lives on Madagascar and the surrounding islands. So this is one for Madagascar. Apparently they never overlap, so it's either or. Slightly hoarse voice today, so I apologize. This is Aerangis citrata. Now Aerangis are huge, a big family, I would say huge. I'm not sure, I think there's like 60 species from sub-Saharan Africa, and half of them live on Madagascar and the other half on the continent, below the Sahara Desert, obviously. So this girl is from Madagascar. I grow here I grow it in a tree fern fiber. This is a plant that needs a lot of water at the same time. Like most Aerangis, they're a little finicky, and they like a lot of water. At the same time, their roots can't be wet at all times. So this is a good medium that has enough aeration. So Fort Lauderdale, and today I want to talk about 2 Gongoras. This is supposedly Catiligera, and then I also have Claviodora. I'll get back at the end of the presentation on proper identification, because I believe neither of these tags are correct. Yeah, so you see, yeah, thank you. Try to get them from the back, from the side, from the front. And then the lips was still closed. And this too is most likely mislabeled. It's supposed to be Claviodora. And Claviodora, I'm sure, has a clove scent, and this is a strong scent, like old Gongoras, which are always very fragrant. It's definitely not clove. And also, while colors usually have very little bearing in identifying a Gongora species, just like for Stanopias, in certain instances it is a telltale, and Claviodora is supposed to be really red. So this is anything but red. So I think yet again this is a mislabeled plant. It's very new, I've had it for only a few months. It came with 2 bulbs. On the time there's some breeze. It's really pleasant. It's kind of a clove-like, spicy fragrance, but I like it a lot. So this one has 13 flowers, the previous spike had 15. To the lip, here it's a straight lip, there is no fimbriation, there are no frilly lips. And so the Romafier is the same type, no Philip. Okay. This one is extremely fragrant. Now I showed you the first bloom, and I'm happy to report that this is number 5, and there's also 6 coming, and then 7 coming. So this thing has been blooming non-stop for the past month and a half. I basically have a new spike every week. I'm Olivier in Fort Lauderdale, and today I wanted to talk about bulbophyllum medusae, or Siropetalum medusae. It has 2 names. This is the freshest of them all. I mean, I was gone for a little over a week, and by the time I came back, didn't have the time to shoot a video before leaving, and they're already not so fresh anymore. I did want to talk about it. So these are young plants. I mean, mature plants can be quite spectacular. I bought this as one plant 2 years ago. It had 4 bulbs, and I tried to repot it, and it separated in 2, and so I decided to make 2 plants, 2 divisions, and have 2 different types of growing method. So this one is grown in sphagnum moss basically, and as you can tell from the pot here, there's a lot of moss, so it's been grown fairly wet, which is what bulbophyllum are supposed to be grown. Today I wanted to show you my Phalaenopsis schilleriana, which is a brand new acquisition, and really what I want to show you is how you make sure this plant is happy on a mount. So you see you have brand new roots there. So this is the only root that was live when I bought the plant. There's another one here. There's one here at the top. There's one over there. You have, I'm not gonna remove the Velcro, but there's another one here, and also 2 underneath here that are attaching themselves. So what's the story behind this? So first of all, when I bought the plant, I made sure it was in good shape, so it had a decent root ball. Like I said, only 1 live root. The leaves were very plump, and they still are. And so what I've done, as you can tell, I put a pad of moss, sphagnum moss, to ensure irrigation. The cardinal rule for mounting orchids is that they cannot wobble, so it's firmly attached here. And then I water it twice a day. I mean, that's the only way to do it, but as you can tell, it quickly grows new roots. And so once it's going to be established, I will remove the moss. I know some people keep it. The negative of removing it, I'm going to have to water it every day, but it avoids any risk of overwatering if that is too moist. And like I said, it's only been a month and a half, and so it has already grown many new roots. It's still very plump, so this is good to go. It's a big coriaceous leaves that are filled with water. This is a plant that grows in Ecuador and northern Peru in very harsh conditions. At times it's in full sun, and it's very dry, there's no rain. So this one goes through dormancy, and actually during dormancy you give practically no water at all, and the leaves filled with water will sustain the dormancy. Then it grows. When it grows actively, you should water it, but every time let it dry out, and you see you have new root growth, and actually you have 3 new leaves here. So 1 leaf which did not produce a flower yet, at least, let me see, I don't see one. And then 2 new leaves here, and each of them has produced a flower at the base. And so this flower, when it opens up, it's quite small. This has been a few days, this is just 2 days, and it seems to be growing bigger by the day. So unlike many Tricocentrums actually form around oncidiums. All the mule ears and the rat tails are formed around oncidiums. This has always been a Tricocentrum, and those Tricocentrums, original Tricocentrums, are typically small plants, and this one is a bit of an oddball in the whole group. It's very different from many others, but I think it's delightful. So I have established my 3 Dimorphic plants. I'm showing you this because I haven't bloomed them yet, and I think if there's a plant that needs to be on your bucket list, this is probably the one. They used to be exceedingly rare. I think in Florida for the past 4 or 5 years there's more and more of them available. They have a few drawbacks. First of all, it takes up to 10 years apparently to start blooming, so I haven't bloomed any of mine yet, and so that's why I want to show you the pictures. It's called Dimorphorchis because it's dimorphic, so the inflorescence has 2 different types of flowers, which to my knowledge is unique. Nobody knows exactly why that's the case, but you see, for instance, Lowii, this is the other one, Rossii, but Lowii is the upper flower, which is yellow and extremely fragrant and waxy. There's only a few of them at the top, and then at the bottom there's a very, very long inflorescence with a lot of these reddish flowers that are scentless. And it's quite spectacular. The plants are huge. I mean, this is a young one. It looks like, I see different numbers, but the spike could be 3 to 4 feet, 3 to 4 meters long, so 9 to 12 feet, so that's really long. And this is also, this can be quite big. So I know for sure there's Lowii and Rossii species. I found lists of up to 9 different species. I suspect most of them are more like varieties. So this is, for instance, is Tenomensis, but I believe it's Rossii variety Tenomensis. Now the thing about this, so this is, I've only got it 6 months ago, and when I bought it, it had 3 roots at the base, 3 nice roots that were quite sturdy. And as you can tell now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more that have grown since. So this is an extremely happy plant, very healthy. The way I did that, so I keep it moist. So you see at the bottom here there's a mix of charcoal, a little bit of bark, and sphagnum moss inside. But I barely let it approach dryness. They stay dry, they stay wet, sorry. As you can tell here, I stay on these roots so that they turn green because they are fresh, and so they are usually very white and they don't turn green very quickly. So the plant has extremely rigid leaves. This is really hard. I mean, this is a very hard leaf, and the core is also very, very hard. It's like concrete, it's strong. So it's a Vandaceous. It's like, it looks like a Vanda, but they take a lot less light than Vandas. They grow on the island of Borneo, which is the ultimate tropical destination. So it's constantly humid and constantly moist. It rains a lot. So that's the environment they live in. Now I had another one. I bought 3 in January, and one died, and it died because when I bought it, it had no roots. And I didn't manage to establish it. I mean, even with watering, it did nothing. Obviously, there were no roots to capture the moisture, and the core started getting weak, and that's how I knew I was in trouble, and so did the leaves. Another one that I had purchased, this one is Rossii. So this one is less dimorphic than the one I showed you before, so which means that the 2 flower colors are more similar than that one, which is obviously very, very contrasting. This one worried me at first. It had 1 root here which dried out immediately, and then 1 and 2 which, you see, this is fairly dehydrated. That's how it looked like in the beginning, and this one as well. So I was concerned. All bark, and look down deep here, there's a big, nice, healthy root. There's another one, I'm not even sure where that one comes from. It's probably branching out. And the other one also made it here at the bottom. So these roots, you need to have roots when you buy them. So these I bought from Orchids from Malaysia. Yet lots of them. But it's critical that you buy them with roots, otherwise you won't be able to establish them. And at first I was concerned. I mean, it took a bit of time to start, but now these leaves are nice and plump, very hard, so is the core. And you see, I recently developed 1, 2, 3, and 4 roots, which an initial one here that aborted for whatever reason. I'm not sure what happened. I was hopeful. I'm like, yeah, this is it. And then it never developed. But then I have these other ones, so I think I'm in good shape here. How many years it's going to take for them to bloom, I do not know. But that's really the way, if you want to establish them, that's critical. So you need roots, they need to be, you need to give some medium, unlike Vandas, and they need to have less light and more water even than Vandas. And then I have a last one which I have had for 3 years now, and it was sold to me. This is Lowii, so that's the picture I showed you. That's the largest of them all, that's the most spectacular of them all. It's healthy, I mean, it has doubled in size. It's super, again, very hard, like concrete. These leaves are really courageous. And there's tons of roots. I mean, I've tripled the root ball, if not more, since I got it. So it's extremely healthy. But I don't know, I was told it was 9 or 10 years old. I didn't know any better back then. I mean, maybe it is, but it doesn't look very... I know they are slow growing, but when I see these, and these are divisions, and so I don't know, it might take a while for this one to bloom. Anyway, so not very common plants. The negative, they are expensive because they are so slow growing, take forever to develop, forever to bloom. But you need space to accommodate them. But hey, if you want something special and sensational, I think this is it. Like I said, here in Florida so far, this one has gone through two winters, and I just water a little bit less over the winter, but they are doing great. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. It's maybe not as mainstream as what I usually do, but I think this was worth mentioning. Have a great day now. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Back to Orchid House. I'm Olivier in Fort Lauderdale in South Florida. And today I wanted to tell you how I grow my Dendrobium falciparum. It's kind of an odd looking plant with a lot of flowers. This is a young one, it's only 3 years old, so these things can turn into monsters. It grows in Indonesia, mostly the eastern part of the country. It's a huge country with lots of islands. This basically grows in the Sulawesi, Moluccas, and also the Sunda Islands on the southeast part, so it's a very large area. And they grow at low elevation, so from sea level to 350 meters, so which means that this is a hot grower. When I say hot grower, I mean our weather in the summer here is usually in the 90s, 92, 93, 94, so like 34, 33, 34 degrees Celsius, and that's perfect for this plant. In the winter, I mean, it should really not go below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Or like 16 Celsius. Here in South Florida we have obviously very mild and beautiful winters. Occasionally we'll have a night time below 55 degrees or 13 Celsius, and that's when I bring the plant inside to avoid any problems. Now this is mounted. I like to mount my plants myself, but this one I bought it mounted. So it needs to be watered every day. I mean, I reduce the watering just a little bit in the winter, but basically it gets watered every day. Now, you have, these were the original bulbs, small ones, and it keeps on growing. This one grows non-stop. It has never stopped growing. Even now, you might notice a tiny little bulb that's about to pop, to come out. So it keeps on growing. I mean, I grow 3 or 4 bulbs a year. Takes a while for the bulb to develop, and then obviously you see they have leaves, but eventually they are deciduous, and it's the deciduous canes that bloom. They can rebloom for several years. As you can tell, let me see here, there is, yeah, this one still has leaves, but it's an older one and it already has blooms on it. Now, mine, like I said, is still a young plant, so it only blooms once a year, this time of the year, which is February, March. I know a local grower who has, his plants blooms several times a year. So again, after many years you can have a huge plant, and so that's when you're going to have this type of thing happening. So watering every day, at least for a mounted plant. I would be a little bit more careful if it's potted, but still this needs to be kept wet. In terms of light, not too much light. I mean, it's obviously more than Phalaenopsis, but it gets filtered light for only a few hours a day. So this is not a high light plant. Fertilizing, I fertilize it year round. I stop maybe a month or two before blooming season. But yeah, so this one doesn't really need a rest. It grows year round. And so I want you to take a look at these flowers. They are really tiny. This is a very small flower. They are very pretty. And there's a lot of them. And they basically open all at the same time. It doesn't last that long. It's like 2 to 3 weeks. I would say 3 weeks, but really fresh for only 2 weeks. But again, after a while, you may have more than 1 blooms per year. Now, that grower tells me it grows several times a year. This is the peak season, regardless. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye. This is Vandaceous, so it's part of the Vanda family. It's grown in the same way. It doesn't really have medium there. You see, it's charcoal and one big piece of wood. This plant blooms like clockwork every year around this time, early June. They don't last that long. It's only 2 weeks typically, but it's really worth it. I mean, look at these beautiful flowers. Gorgeous colors, intricate shape, and then the fragrance is stunning. It's a monster. So it's beautiful blooms. I mean, look at that. Very special. They only last 2 months, which is pretty good. They always bloom around this time of the year, like July, August. There's a strong fragrance. Now, this plant needs to be mounted. It needs a support, and I'm going to have to find something here because it's already, this is like a 5 foot tall piece of wood, cypress wood, and it's already completely overtaken. This plant must be 4 or 5 years old, but I need to find something to make it go straight. So it's a big plant, obviously. This is not for indoors. It's a hot growing plant. It's a Vandaceous, so you have to water it every day. In terms of light, it's supposed to have less light, or to need less light than your standard Vanda. But I kind of wonder if I give it enough light. So you have blooms here, blooms there, and then there's more at the back on this side. But I have a friend who has a much smaller plant and she has more blooms, so maybe I don't give it enough light. I'm going to try more. So the thing is, I have to find the right spot because I have to be able to find somewhere to hang this. It's really big. There's not that many vendors in the United States who sell and carry Dendrobium, so I buy most of mine in South America. Because of regulations, they have to come bare rooted. So it's a big trauma for the plant. This is a division. They have to go through cargo in a plane, then they arrive here, they are packed up and then sent by mail. So it's a lot of stress. I mean, this one actually has a new growth, but I'm not holding my breath. It's probably not going to.
That is striving for truth and not somebody else dictating to you how to do your thing, which you know how to do better than anybody else.